If you don't understand what's going on in the general world, you're not going to know what's going on the charts. You got a president releasing a meme coin and rugging everybody. I always tell people, never live in regret. If you live in regret, you will always think back to yourself, I wish I did this, I wish I'd done that. Instead of wishing, do it. Where a lot of people go wrong, for example, when they're in an actual trade, they look at it as, I want to make 2K. I say, if you're on a 100K account, sorry brother, that's 2%. Don't look at it as money. My first year of trading, I made 7 payouts. I'm doing something that clearly these guys are not spotting. You must be doing something different.
Hi, welcome back to the Alpha Capital YouTube channel. Planty here. Another top interview to come here. We've got Kareem, who's actually on an Alpha client on the CFD and futures side. So I'm sure we've got loads of content to talk about there. But without further ado, hi Kareem. Tell us exactly how you got into trading, because I know this is an interesting one.
So guys, my name is Kareem. I'm 20 years old. I'm from London. How I got into trading, I was about 16 years old. I first got into crypto. Obviously, I didn't take it as serious as I do trading now. I used to just get into like the meme coins, the Shiba, etc.
So what got you into that then? Why were you
Genuinely, it was the lifestyle I was involved in before. I didn't want to get myself into trouble. I just wanted to have a better life in general. I wanted a change. I wanted something different in my life. I wanted to do something with my life.
That sounds like you're having some problems in your life, doesn't it?
100%,
right,
100%. I was very young, very stupid, just get myself into trouble. Typical stuff that a lot of youngsters do. And where trading helped me become the person that I currently am sitting in right now, speaking with you today, it's helped me just bring my discipline, the way I think about everything, the way I even approach everything, a complete different mindset compared to how I first came. If I looked at myself 3 years ago compared to what I am now, a complete different person, my character, like everything. I've genuinely now found myself as more as a person.
Just listening to this, I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it sounds so uplifting, positive, encouraging. It really does sound like you.
Thank you.
No.
I do like to obviously be very transparent. A lot of people from where I grew up, like the area I grew up in, where I come from, we don't see a lot of people come in success. We come from nothing.
Right. And
I'll be very, very honest. Come from nothing. Brought up by a single mother. I've got my father that lives in Cyprus. They obviously split up very, very young. Obviously that plays a role in my life, but obviously doesn't affect me as much because it was when I was younger. But having that male role model in my life, never had that. My mum had to play both roles. My mum couldn't afford the rent, couldn't afford nothing really.
No, so you've got your back against the wall to start with, haven't you?
100%. It's like, for example, everyone in school would be able to go on a school trip, do this, do that.
You had to miss out.
It was different. Of course, I love my mum to bits. She done her best.
No,
I love my mum. She gave me everything I needed as when I needed to grow up. Obviously stuff like that motivates me even right now. My family, funny enough, my family don't even know I trade.
I've heard this so many times.
Yes.
Is that a conscious decision by you, or have you heard them? Have they said stuff that's made you think, oh, I better not mention this?
Both. Genuinely, I did tell them at first I got into trading. They thought I was gambling. Oh, I'm gambling. You're losing all your money. You're losing this, that. Cool. At the start when I did first trade, I wasn't gambling. I just wasn't profitable yet. I just didn't find my edge yet.
Yeah.
Which obviously...
And there's a massive difference.
It's a massive difference compared to where I'm at now. Even now, they're starting to realise, you're like loads of difference because I'm 20. I've been living by myself now for a couple months as well. So they're starting to realise.
Did you finish school?
So when I moved in, I still currently study at this coming time.
Cool.
I also have 2 jobs as well. I don't know if it's going to be mentioned in this, but I work for Tottenham Hotspur I'm an Arsenal fan, so...
Oh, is it getting worse?
Yeah, it's getting to
Wait till Man United turn you over in a couple of days.
Nah. But yeah, genuinely, because I help a lot of young people as well get out of that lifestyle.
You're already giving back, and you're only at the start of your journey. It's amazing.
Because I genuinely know how it feels, even as a trader, even just as a person in life already. I want to be able to give that impact, even if it's not for a trader, even if it's just as a human being in general. I believe every person in this world has a purpose, and I think we only have one chance to go for it. Go for it. There's never... I always tell people, never live in regret. If you live in regret, you will always think back to yourself, I wish I did this. I wish I'd done that. Instead of wishing, do it. And you can regret about it later on in life.
That's right. Do it and deal. Well, this is very much,
exactly.
I'm sure you're going to say, this very much reflects trading, doesn't it? It's
100%.
like if you don't start, you don't get involved.
You don't.
Even the most profitable traders risk manage. That's the whole point
100%.
of it. If you don't break the eggs, you can't make the omelette, can you?
Exactly. And that's where a lot of people genuinely struggle. They struggle to get to that point. And like myself, I've had to go through that myself to be able to find my current edge. Even right now, I'm doing well for myself, but I know there's so much more for me to improve. And I know so much more down the line that I will make a lot of mistakes. I will probably blow accounts. I probably will lose money in the long run, but it's not about that. It's about what happens during that process. What do I say to myself in my head? Read books. Make sure you keep yourself healthy. Make sure you're keeping the right people around you. One good piece of advice I had one of my teachers tell me, look at the friendship group that's around you. Where do you see them in 10 years? Do they see themselves doing something in 10 years? Whoever you surround yourself around will be the person you turn out to be.
It's going to impact you, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's interesting. I was listening to a podcast recently, and the guy was talking about he was more successful once he got his life in balance. When everything was correct.
Correct, yeah.
He was able to trade better.
I agree, 100%, because with people, like in life, you genuinely have to go through things, and life's not perfect. We're not perfect.
I heard you said mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah.
You learn from mistakes,
exactly,
don't you?
100%. I've learned many mistakes I've learned from, even currently now, even when I trade. When I for example, a trade doesn't go in my favour, like how when we were talking about the
Friday setup.
Friday. Like sometimes things like this, it doesn't go in our favour, but it's something you shouldn't let you like take everything out from you. That should just give you more confidence to look back and be like,
it sharpens you for the next one, doesn't it?
Exactly.
What can I do differently?
Exactly. But then once obviously people that have come into trading new, it's like they're scared to lose. You're going to lose. If I'm very honest, you are going to lose accounts. Not even accounts. Like if you're not willing to lose, like for you to have a business, any business model that you have to lose some sort of money to be able to get to that next step.
That's right. It's part of the process, isn't it?
It's part of the process.
Finding out what your good and bad lines in
100%,
in your inventory, isn't it? It's a similar thing. It's like working out what are your good trades, what are your good instruments, your strategy.
Well, 100%.
So before we go on to your strategy, you came through this tough background, and how did you fund your trading? Were you funded, or have you always been in the sim funded world?
So before I got into the whole prop firm space,
crypto, weren't you? Yeah.
I was in crypto, and obviously I was making a little bit of money off crypto, not as serious. I then started figuring out what prop firms were. Funny enough, the first 3 months of me starting my prop firm challenge, it wasn't with this company, it was with a different company. Right. Funny enough, I don't know how they're still about. They're absolute scammers. In my first 3 months, I blew a couple accounts. I'm going to be very honest with you, because I didn't know the difference. I knew the difference is like between the rules between a prop firm compared to a live account. The risk management between the two is completely different. That's what helped me become more profitable, is by actually learning the strategies and placing my strategies around the way a prop firm's rules apply to me. So it can make you more, not just disciplined, but your risk to reward and your risk is
you're totally aware, and you're in that process, aren't you? You're owning the process because you totally understand how it works.
How it works. And then that's where I done the transition from crypto/meme coins onto actual CFDs and futures and stuff like that. My first breakthrough, in the first 3 months, I received my first payout. It was funny enough. I made 10% on a 10K account on my first trade. I was risking a bit more, but obviously,
But even so, that's a great return.
But it's still a great return. That prop firm wasn't this prop firm. Funny enough, I got given half of the payout. Exactly. I've still got the email on my phone.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? I must trade at alpha.
That's why I tell everybody, generally, when you actually go for a prop firm, do the research. If you do the research about Alpha Capital, you go onto the UK Gov website, you find the registration, you see what nation of, is it the NIC, what actual business type they are. What are they, a financial institution? Are they a gambling company? Because loads of different prop firms, they have to be regulated, and especially from the UK, because the other prop firm that I got my first payout with, when I got my payout, it was meant to be $1,000 payout. They emailed me saying, sorry, you've decided to close your trade during when there was a speech. Here's the deducted of what you made from that trade. I'll further show you more after this actually. And yeah, they gave me half the payout. And I was thinking, I'm meant to be getting £1,000 payout. You've given me $500, but cool. If I did breach, you should have just breached the whole thing. You shouldn't be paying me out, because I've never heard of a prop firm to still pay me out half the money. But
I mean, there's always accentuating circumstances, aren't there? But it doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right. So that's where, once I obviously received that money from that payout, I then used that money to come into Alpha Capital, because I'll be very honest, the prices even for Alpha Capital, very fair price, very good prices. Even till now, like, you can get a 10K account for in dollars, $40.
It's a good mix, isn't it? But
it's a good mix, yeah.
You know, the benefits of knowing you're going to get paid out
it's
10 times.
The extra $10, $20 is generally worth it, because you will get paid out by this company. And with the other company, I only got paid out half my money, and somehow they're still about till this day. And
it's just like a trade, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it looks too good to be true, you know,
don't go for it.
You know, you think it's not quite my setup.
Yeah, 100%. Because when I even, for example, done my research on the Gov website for Alpha and done the Gov website for that company, two completely different. The way they've set up the company, whose name it was under, it was all coming from one dodgy geezer. Yeah. So
anyway, enough of him.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
after I got my first payout, I bought a new account with Alpha, blew that, and then I bought another account past that, and then I believe I made 1K, so it was on another 10K account. Made another 10% again.
Proper run rate, good.
Yeah. And then was going through a bit of struggles for about a month, and then I received a 5K account. Bought a 5K account, and then it was 20% on that 5K account. It got put on Trade of the Week. It's actually on Alpha Capital's Instagram, so if you guys want to go and take a look at it.
Absolutely, should.
Yeah. So it was a trade of $400, but across the whole account, I made 1.1k on a 5k account.
So now into 20% plus.
So 20% plus is a beautiful return.
And this is how you got to look at it.
The
money is, relevant. It's kind of
it's percentage.
Processes and percentages.
Because where a lot of people go wrong, they look at, for example, when they're in an actual trade, they look at it as, I want to make 2k. I say, if you're on a 100k account, sorry, brother, that's 2%. Don't look at it as money, because psychologically, if it goes down, you're gonna actually like panic if you can't handle the actual. Yeah,
because you're chopping yourself at too small amounts.
Yeah. But then once I received that payout as well, just put it all into more bigger accounts then.
So you're looking to compound and build your actual funding.
So then once I made 20% on that 5k account after making 10%. Bought a 50k account. Actually passed it. It was a one-step account, actually, I remember. This is when it first got introduced.
Any feelings of overconfidence at this point? Going, this is easy?
Honestly, yes, but I knew to myself, this is happening too fast. My first year of trading, I made 7 payouts. In 1 year. I've had over 10 this year alone.
Which is not a regular thing.
It's not a regular thing for your first year.
Most people are telling us how hard it was.
Exactly, because like I said before, the alpha community on Discord, fantastic. I'm speaking to some people in the Discord. They've been trading with you guys for a couple of years. They've still not even passed an account.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you gotta take it in. You can't be too confident, but you still gotta be like. You've got
to recognise that you're doing
something. Yeah. I'm doing something that clearly these guys are not spotting. You must be doing something different. Obviously, once I become more profitable, I bought my 50k account, received a payout out of that, it was 2%. So I went more I wanted to make 2%. I just wanted my payout and then carry on. And then I started getting a couple more payouts. So that was around my fifth or fourth payout. And then it was coming down to the end of the year. And everything went left for me. After the end of the year, right. I lost everything.
What happened?
It's going to sound very, very ridiculous, but my little brother got onto my phone and opened the
No way.
Yes. So I lost about 2 accounts because of that.
Dog ate my homework. No, little brother did my trading.
But obviously, I take responsibility for that. I'm not going to sit here and blame my little brother for it. For all he knows, it's just a phone.
Well, it's just early learning.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
he's
exactly.
making mistakes early. That's all.
He's trying to become profitable early. But so that happened, and then ended up losing basically everything because.
Right. So for you, psychologically now, you've come from nothing, you've found a way, and now you're back.
Exactly. So I've basically gone from having nothing to I'm starting to elevate in life, starting to like actually do stuff now. Like I'm changed my whole life around to before a month or 2 months before my birthday, before I turned 20, absolutely losing everything. Psychologically, I was like, I had to take at least a little break. I had to take a break, 2-3 weeks off, to really say to myself, do you really want this? Is this like something you're willing to just go all in? Even though, like I told you, I'm still studying to become a broker. I said, is that what you want? Not what other people want. Is that what you want? And I had to think to myself, do I genuinely want? And I said, I do. The reason being is because I know what I want, and I know if I want to get to somewhere, stuff like that's going to happen.
It's part of the journey, isn't it?
It's part of the journey. Like, you can use everything, but I can name loads of people. I can name loads of billionaires, millionaires that are very famous, lose everything.
2 or 3 times they've gone bankrupt, haven't they?
And they've gone bankrupt, and they still make it back. It did psychologically, it took a lot out of me. It made me think, like, I don't know if I want to do this. It's making me regret everything. It was making me have one thing. It wasn't about just, obviously it was to do with losing the accounts. What it was my family's voice in the back of my head saying, oh, you're gambling, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. It's like, are they right? Are they not? Like, what do I want? And then I said, nah, there's no way I'm giving up. There's like,
good for you.
I was like, I've done nearly 10 payouts in my first year. I've done 7 payouts in 1 year.
And you know that's irregular.
Yeah, it's not normal. I was like, this was meant to happen. Either God's testing me or something's happening that this is just the start.
It's like the best trades, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're going to retest.
It's only going to
hold your nerve.
Exactly. You don't want to take your stop loss yet.
That's it.
You don't want to full port yet.
But a lot of people say this, and I definitely attest to it. Trading life is something completely different, but it does give you
100%
some disciplines and an ownership of your own personality.
Yeah. Where for me, for me personally, I like to forward test more than I like to back test.
Someone else said that to me recently.
Yeah. Where I find it is because with paper trading, let's be very honest, you've probably done it, I've probably done it, anyone's probably done it watching. They've definitely over-risked on paper compared to what they actually would on their actual account. And because they know deep down mentally is paper, even if they're still risking the same, they're just going to be like, I don't care if it hits or it does. Do you know what I mean? I'll just go and look for another setup in a couple of hours. But with live testing or live, like using a live account, you can't do none of that. It has to be precise.
Even if you can get to that stage where the chemical release doesn't happen, the classic trader, boom, 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 every trade is different, 100%. Doesn't affect me. It's so difficult for most people, however successful they are, to not have some kind of trail.
Yeah, because remember, all human beings, like you said, remember, dopamine is a real thing. If you're a trader, gambler, whatever, even if you're into something else that's got nothing to do, we all have dopamine. That once that dopamine is affected, kicks in, anything can happen. So like that's where a lot of people go wrong. Where I tell people, read books. Like currently I'm reading Trading in the Zone. Do you know that book?
Yeah.
Fantastic book for psychology, for my mindset as well. Like
very popular.
It's very popular, very good book. It's like what I tell people, if you're going to get into trading, make sure you come into trading knowing you're going to go through a lot of stuff, but you've got to make sure you come out of it with your mindset being in the right place. If your mindset's not in the right place, I'm sorry to break it to you guys. It's not gonna work. Like,
no, it's two things, isn't it? You need the mindset, and you need to acknowledge that you need to do hard work,
100%,
which you are doing. Take us back then. You've come through.
Yeah. Sorry.
You must be doing something. You must have picked something that is a winner. What strategy do you use?
So it's more ICT. So I use like breaker structure, liquidity, market structure shifts. Just very simple. One thing I do really like to mark out, which I like to keep very simple for, especially the new beginners. The 3 steps: AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. You can use it on any majority of any time frames. You can use it on every single session. It genuinely helps you mark out what's going on for the day, for the week, even for the month. It always shows you what's going on.
It's classic structure around turning points, isn't it?
Exactly.
Regardless whether you follow ICT or not.
It's
kind of it is. People look at me old school. It's very similar to some Elliott Wave setups.
Yeah.
It's been around. It's different ways of looking at
market,
the correct stuff.
And then obviously I like to jump in the high time frame just to find out. I'll jump into the daily and to the 4 hour just to find out. Sometimes obviously the weekly, that's for weekly bias, but majority of the times just daily and 4 hour just to see where the trend is going for that current
But it also
day.
helps that whole AMD flip structure.
Exactly.
You might not be at the end of that move. You might just be in a
beginning,
smaller degree.
or you might be at the start of it. Yeah, exactly. And then I will then jump into the lower time frame. So then I'll start jumping into the hour, 15-minute and 5-minute to look more for my entry.
Yep.
And then I'll use the 1 minute to execute my entries so I can get more of a precise position. Obviously, some people, they can't...
And what do you base your stop loss on then?
Majority of the time, it would be around the hour mark.
Right,
So I would, because it's a balance between the higher time frame, but it's also more balanced to
I think I
lower
asked you that
time
question
frame.
because I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They'll stop loss around their entry method, which is total noise.
You can't do that.
And you're going to be, and they wonder why they're getting whipped all over the place.
Exactly, yeah.
But,
For example...
I just think it's really good what you're telling us. I think it's just,
thank you.
It's just thinking for the potential newbie. That,
because
make sure that you know what you're doing with each of those time frames.
Yeah, because with a lower time frame, unless you're genuinely in the trade for a couple of minutes, where myself, I'm in the trade from anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 to 3 hours. You won't catch me. The only sessions I do sometimes trades Asia, very, very rarely. Like very, very rarely.
We all need some sleep.
Yeah, exactly. We all need some sleep, especially living out here. But majority of the time, I trade London Open to New York close. So London Open, New York Open. I don't really go into Asia time New York closes. I'm usually out. I don't really like to look for a setup after that. I also like to just do 2 to 3 trades a day. Anything past, even if I have.
What about what if the dopamine's kicking in and you're all over it? Do you adjust, or do you think I need to walk away?
When it does happen to me, I just put it away. That's where I might say
sounds
to
with
myself,
the discipline, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. But at the start, I did. I'll be honest. I actually didn't. Very, very honestly, I'm not gonna sit here.
Well, this is why you've developed it, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I genuinely, even like the other day, I had 3 winning trades, all on separate accounts. My friends are like, "Oh, bro, come on, man, one more." I'm like, I'm done for the day. I don't need nothing else. Like, I'm more than happy with. Because where a lot of people go wrong, cool, they might risk way less, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, 7, it all adds up. If you're
playing percentages, aren't you? So
if you're doing 2 to 3 trades a day, I'm risking 1 max. If you're risking 2%, if you're risking 1%, that's 3%. Realistically, you're only losing 3% on your account that day. But if that was 5, 6 trades.
I know. That's why we say if you want to risk manage, make sure you've already said, I don't do more than X, Y, Z.
X, Y, Z, yeah. So, and that's where a lot of people obviously end up messing up and stuff like that, where I had to adapt to that, because obviously you hear loads of different noises coming from, you shouldn't place your stop loss on a lower time frame on this time frame, or for example, my strategy, this is where a lot of people also go wrong. I like to take everything from anyone's strategy. I'm very open to hearing people's strategy. Doesn't mean I'm going to use your strategy. I might take a little 1, little 2 things out and try and put it into my strategy and develop it around. But where a lot of especially you new people go wrong, you go straight to these gurus, all these people that are selling you a lifestyle. They're not selling you like your mindset. They're not technical. They're not showing you what really goes on in trading. They're showing you this lifestyle. It's like you've got to genuinely come into it with an open mindset. I've come into trading. I've taught myself everything I've learned. I've taught myself YouTube. You can go on YouTube and find loads of free breakdowns and loads of free videos on YouTube. Doesn't mean you have to go and use his strategy or her strategy. You look at the videos, you look at what's working for other people and see what works for you.
I like the way you approach that. Just what I try and tell people, and I think it's true. Everybody's view and style is in the market. That's by definition what a market is. And we're trying to find who's getting more followers, who's getting more money, who's following the money the most. So there must be little bits that overlap.
100%. And one big thing I'm going to add on to that point, do you think these big Wall Street traders, all these big retail traders, do you guys really think they're trading the exact same strategy? They're all majority 90% of the time they're going against each other. Majority of the time they're always going against each other. If that tells you the best traders in the world, people that trade with billions of dollars a day, not even a year, a day, are going against each other, does that not tell
this is what
you
people
something?
forget. By definition, the market is buyers and sellers, isn't
Exactly,
it? So people
yeah.
are taking on opposite views. We're trying to find who is going to be predominant,
Who's
who's
gonna
going
be
to keep, who's going to win, who's going to have
Exactly.
enough money to move the weight of it.
100%. And that's where a lot of people go wrong, because they think, because his strategy is different compared to mine, he's not going to be successful. Because a lot of people go wrong. Pardon me. A lot of people go wrong is where they let their egos get in front of them.
Yeah, they're making it. They're trying to make the trade work rather than let it go.
Then let it go. But it's like you'll generally win some, you're gonna lose some. It's just learning how to actually adapt to it. Do you know what I mean?
I think that you're making some really open, valid points. By definition, we're looking for a winning percentage, aren't we?
100%.
Reiterate, please, for me. That means you are having a series of wins and a series of losses.
Yeah,
and it's how you manage those, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
But so many people seem to be sold this idea that they're rubbish if they're losing.
No.
And it's like they've got the winners win every time they come to the table.
No. But this is where like people go like you said, go wrong, because you're genuinely not going to win. If you've got a good risk to reward, you can lose 30-40% of your trades. And as long as your winners are bigger than your loss, you're still going to be making good.
Up,
it's just percentage. People don't go into trading thinking, I'm trying to make $1,000. 1%, 2%. Go for percentage. Start small. You don't have to go for these 10%. Cool, you can go for that, but you've got to have more experience coming into them longer trades.
It's knowing when to go big, isn't it?
It's knowing when to go big.
Can only come with experience.
Yeah, because if I take out loads of my trading histories, you're going to see some trades I've gone for a 1 to 2. Some trades I've gone for a 1 to 5. It's depending on the market structure. And
are you a set and leave guy, or do you add to winning positions?
No. So I would take, like, for example, I would take 2 to 3 trades a day. I will only have one position on. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, I just move on. I don't.
So there's no manipulating as your day goes on.
No. So like I said, I will only be in the trade 5 minutes to no longer than 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Generally, my setup comes between like London Open. Sometimes a little just before London Open, because sometimes you can see the obvious way the market's going to go for.
What are your favourite instruments?
At the moment, gold. Reason I'm being gold is just so easy to actually just read the chart. Obviously, a lot of people struggle on gold, but if you genuinely can trade with gold, you've got to have a good risk management. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They can't trade it.
I agree with you. Technically brilliant until outside periods where it's being manipulated. But
everyone loves it when they're winning, but when they're losing, they don't like it.
But it's a classic, isn't it? They don't look at the spread and think, wow, that's massive. That's relative to my risk.
Yeah.
And don't adjust accordingly. You got to stay in the game in gold.
No, you do. And even with gold, like recently, like even like on the 1 minute, I'm seeing like 50 pips on a 1 minute 1 minute candle.
Volatility in this
it's crazy.
Liberation Day. It's
mental. But then that's where the setup comes so much more naturally. Obviously, I trade gold, but I also trade indices as well, like US 30.
So have you furthered your stop losses during this period?
With gold? So the most I ever risk, I don't like to risk, but if I have a very strong confluence, knowing that it will reverse, I'll risk maximum 2%. I don't like to go past 1%, but majority of the time, it's always 1% that I do risk.
But 2% is your kind of full
is the full.
Yeah.
Is like it's my version of, even though it's
no,
not
exactly.
full in, but
you got to have that discipline.
You got to have that discipline. But for example, if I do lose a trade, I always say to myself, a lot of people go wrong as well. They enter straight back in again. I let the market play out. If it's just hit my stop loss, I'm just going to let the market play out, see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
because my strategy clearly didn't work.
That works both ways. I think when you get stop loss, you should go and check. Have I been unlucky? Have I been wicked? Or
what's the reason being behind it?
Did I read it wrong in the first place? But you've certainly got to have a look before you jump on it.
100%. Because what a lot of people go wrong as well is they'll take a loss and they'll either try and do the opposite trade of whatever they just done, or they like to just re-enter again, and then they just hit a stop loss again because you don't know the reasoning behind what's going on. With a lot of people, they go into the markets thinking, it's all just technical analysis. It's really
my next question. You've jumped the gun. I said, are you a fundamentals, technicals, or a combo?
I'm a very genuinely combo.
Yeah.
More recently, from the way the market has been, it has been very more economical.
I think this period shows you exactly why you need to.
Need to be economical, because if you don't understand what's going on in the general world, you're not going to know what's going on the charts.
I mean, this trading by headlines, Trump. I mean, it literally is
crazy.
I mean, flip flop, isn't it?
Exactly.
Complete.
You've got a
different thing the next day.
You've got a president releasing a meme coin, and rugging everybody. So it's like,
shush, they might be listening.
Oh, sorry, don't go on. But yeah, it's like very crazy. It can for people to get into it, because you can get into trading. It's not for everybody. Because I've got a lot of friends. You've probably got a lot of friends that don't even trade. They're like to me, and they're probably like to you, and probably everyone watching. Put me on, bro. Teach me how to do this, please. Can you teach me to trade? I'm like I don't sell courses. I don't do none of this. So
plus, how can I know you?
How do I don't? And you might be my friend, but I don't know how you're going to react during the bad times, the good times. Good times, I know you'll probably be happy with, but majority of the bad times, how do I know if you're going to handle it? Because let's be very honest. A normal person, they can't deal with just losing £1,000 or £500.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
When you said you'll often walk away when you're winning, what do you do when things are against you? Have you got any plans?
Yeah. So obviously,
do you utilise the tools that you can lock out? And that
So I would genuinely, obviously, once I do, if I'll have 2 to 3 trades. If all 3 trades have not hit, then I walk away from my laptop. I give myself a couple hours to just process everything in, because remember, it's like a business. You got to process. You got to feel the vibe. If I go straight back into it, try and do analyze what I done wrong, I'm just gonna be why did I do that? Why did I do that? I should have done this. I should have done that. But then when you come back into more of a clearer mindset, you see what you actually done wrong. You find out what you done wrong. But when you're rushing, trying to find what you do wrong, you end up doing the same thing again.
And plus, when you're rushing, you're often do that self-affirmation, won't you? You'll tell yourself you were unlucky. And
the market makers wanted to stop me out. It's like
the whole classic.
That's where a lot of people do go wrong. And I've done that before myself. Like I said, I've only been trading prop firms. It's been over just a year now. Going back on to where I got my first success. So I lost absolutely everything. It's coming down onto my birthday. This was just at the start of this year. I decided, do you know what? I'm going to come off CFDs for a little bit. Let me come and try and do that alpha futures for a bit. I see you guys.
Keep jumping the next question. It's good.
Oh. I'll probably come back all the way back down to this last question. But so I went, I lost everything. And then I bought an account with Alpha Futures because they were doing a big discount. It was 40% off at the time. I said, I've got nothing to lose. I'm gonna go straight for it. I'm gonna see how futures work out for me. Bought an account, blew the first account. I'll be honest. That's because I was figuring out contract work, micro lots, just how it works in general, because futures is completely different to CFDs. Obviously, same market, same everything. It's just execution, spreads, completely different. There's beautiful spreads, especially on alpha futures. It's fantastic. So once I lost everything, I bought an account with alpha futures, passed the account, and then obviously because there's a consistency rule.
I was about to say to you that the nature of the pricing is stronger by the definition. It's one price.
Yeah.
But the fixed contracts, the
Everything
consistency
else.
rule, everything is there to make you focus, isn't it?
100%. It makes you, even with, for example, when I did make my payout, I'll come more into it what I'm about to say. For example, when you do get a payout, because it's a trailing stop, you guys recommend to leave money in there to treat it like it is an extra bit of not money that, because obviously you can still withdraw that money if you want to. It's just extra money for you so you don't hit.
You've got a buffer.
Yeah, your buffer, which I think is amazing for you guys to even mention that to people, because a lot of other firms, do you think they're going to mention that to people?
Hopefully it's another reason why people, the penny drops and they realise alpha's out to help you. The futures side, I mean, like I say, it's incredible. If you're setting up a business place, why are you giving them so much help? Because we literally want you to
genuinely
win.
Like, furthermore, I'll give you another reason why I genuinely have a lot of respect for alpha. One time I bought an account with alpha. This was with Ben. I was on my phone. I was on holiday. I couldn't place a stop loss. Nothing. I showed him. I got given back my money. No problem. He gave me a refund. Obviously,
he played totally fair whenever.
Totally fair. Yeah. And obviously there was an issue more on my end, but he said, "Do you know what? Like, we can see you've been
what you're trying to do.
Yeah, what you're trying to do." And if I went up to any other firm, they would have laughed in my face and said, "Aha, we got your money. You're not getting it back."
Yeah, big time.
But that's what I love about alpha. They're so transparent. I even had someone I know. He had an account. He was meant to sign the contract. He was just waiting to get paid. He completely forgot that he had to sign the contract. So the day,
and then they just let it roll off.
And then so he didn't get to sign the contract, but he got given a free account, which no other firm would have even entertained it. Which I said, you're very, very lucky you even got given something at the end of the day. But going on to it, so yeah, sorry, keep on jumping off.
Not
topic.
at all. You keep remembering to come back.
So yeah, I lost everything. I then bought an account with Alpha Futures. I then passed it because there is a 50% consistency rule. Your best trade can't be more than 50% of your profit. So at the start, I was getting more used to it. I was using around one contract per trade. I got more into the macros, but I just had more success with just a full contract. I bought the first account, passed it, and then once I got funded, it was 5.8k.
Wow.
On my first account. But then I
was this on a 50k? Is it?
This was on a 50k.
So
I made another 10% again on the 50k. Very, very grateful.
You love these percentages.
I do. Obviously, with me, like I said, I only go by percent. I'm not thinking money. I'm not thinking about the money. I think about percent. Me, even if
it's a big hurdle to make.
Yeah.
I really do think it's a big part of your success.
It genuinely is, because when I left the money wise out of it and just looked at it as percent wise, that's where I started becoming much more successful. I then ended up, going back onto it, I ended up making more than another 10% again. I left about, two grand or something in the account just to have a little bit of a buffer. Withdrew that, and then, had an interview with Alpha Futures for that payout. You guys can be more than welcome to go and watch that if you like as well. After that, I bought a couple of accounts with Alpha Futures. I was still trying to get into it. Like, my technicals, everything else, I know how to use the charts already. I've already had previous 7 payouts already the previous year. It was just learning not just the consistency rule, but just how contracts and everything in general, happens. I got a little bit too excited, decided to go and buy another 2-3 accounts.
I'll just toss them up. Yeah.
Passed two of them. Passed one of them. Blew it, and then I blew the other two that I got. Due to just honestly, just trying to figure out how futures work.
So in your mind, we're back to the old training.
Yeah. So to me, I looked at it as this. Cool, I take it as a loss, but this is just me learning how to figure out, because it is a big step. Futures and obviously CFDs is completely different. Just like the way you even execute a trade.
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's the same instrument. It's just
it feels completely different.
Take away the the premium.
Even though there's no spreads, stuff like that, it makes like when you first get into it, you're like it's harder to get into. If you jump onto futures, then come onto CFD/Forex, you have I believe probably more of a better success rate, because it's more harder to get into the futures.
I think Ben and I have always described it as it's where the big boys and girls play.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Pricing structure, the volume. I love looking at the depth of market on that, because you really get to see
everything that comes out.
You see that proper signaling because it's a proper tape.
Yeah, and it's amazing for just people as well, because when you look at other future firms,
like when you're on CFD and everyone moans about the fills and all this, and you say, look at the depth of market, it's only simulated. But you go over to futures when you're looking at the real tape, and you'll see you've got a 10 micro lot on a 20 micro lot on, which is like they're 10 factor lower than a proper contract. But even so, the volume in those, you'll see the bids are only building up in 4s and 7s.
4s and 7s, yeah.
The chances of you getting slippage, that's why. And you see it in reality.
Yeah.
And then you might use limits.
Agree, no, 100%. And that's where...
So it trains you, doesn't it? That
trains you, yeah. So that's where it ended up training me to obviously understand the future side more. Obviously, I'm still currently still learning futures. I still have not... perfect it, because I'm still so focused on the CFD side of things, because that's where I'm having much success from.
But I think a good takeaway for this is you wouldn't put anyone off at Alpha being on both, would you?
I'll be honest, I still trade both.
Yeah.
I still trade both. I'm trying to get full now max allocated now with Alpha Futures. Once hopefully that should not be too long, but honestly, I genuinely would, like, even if you go and watch the interview, genuinely, like, the support from Alpha Futures, like, out of any futures firm, I've used Top Step, I've used all these, I've used Apex Funding. No support. I don't know who I'm talking. I'm not even talking to anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, with you guys, it's so transparent. It not just feels like a community, it feels like a family. You're getting everybody together. Like, even Ben, like, he's on there all the time.
If there's a need to be there, he'll pick it up.
He'll pick it up, and that's what's so amazing. You don't see a lot of people that, for example, people that are behind the scenes doing the work, for example, you don't see them engage with the community.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why I love Alpha so much. They engage with the community. They listen to what they want, like what the community genuinely wants. And even with Alpha Futures, they've listened to everything you guys have
exactly.
mentioned.
There's been a reaction, hasn't there?
Yeah, and it's fantastic. I see you guys.
So one other thing,
best. Yeah,
Alpha Prime.
Oh, wow.
What's the future for you? Are you thinking about?
Yeah, 100%.
You're a man with a process. You're a man that's seen the ups and downs.
Yeah, I would definitely love the opportunity to do something like that. Like I said to you before, I'm obviously studying to become a broker, so something like that for myself.
Can you just give us a little bit more on that?
So currently I've just finished sixth form. I am currently 20, but I did have a year gap.
Sure.
So next year I'll be going into university. I'm trying to do a course where I can basically become a broker.
Any particular market or?
Not at this current time. I just want.
You just want to be in the industry.
I just want to be in the industry. It's very hard to get into the industry, especially like very, very young. It takes a lot of experience. Majority of the time, they want people that have got the experience and stuff like that.
They've gone that way, unfortunately. This is another reason why I love the way that JJ set up Alpha Prime, because it's
exactly.
We're looking for the mindset rather than the finished product necessarily. If you can find the finished
experience,
product,
yeah.
It's kind of your kind of drive, the determination to learn, do the hard yards. It's kind of what you've got to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Because with me trying to go into the industry like that kind of route, it's completely different compared to like something like this. Like something like this, like I can be my natural self. Like even with them, you still can be yourself. It's just about you've got to please the right person to get to the right places there as well. And obviously you've got to have the knowledge, not just the knowledge, but you've got to basically be liked as well to get into high positions over there. I still want to become a broker.
It's tough when you have the sort of success that you've had. You don't want to let go, do you? You've worked hard to get to it.
100%. Like I said, the Alpha Prime, like I would happily do something like that because it puts me into a position, for example, for what I'm currently studying.
There's a great overlap
to get ahead of everyone, especially with the experience you have, especially with the experience everyone at Alpha do have. I'm still very young. Even if someone says, "Oh, you're better than this person, better than that person at trade," I look at every single person equal, because my knowledge, your knowledge, we use that together and become a better person.
That's what we want. We want a collaboration, a team.
100%, yeah. And I think with Alpha Prime, I think all the people that end up getting brought together, the team that's going to be made with Alpha Prime, I think will do very, very well. And
brilliant. I wish you luck. I'm sure you offer all the things. So before we finish, anything else that doing one of these interviews you've never managed to say before? Is there anything else you want to say? Or
genuinely.
Or a few tips for the starter.
So anyone that's genuinely like getting new into trading, one thing I definitely will say, don't give up. Like you're going to go through it. Like genuinely, you're going to go through stuff that you didn't think or want to go through. But in the long term, it's genuinely worth it. It might not be for you now, but when you pull up in your Lamborghini, when you
your Lambo,
when you get a Lambo, when you genuinely start to see your edge and start to see a difference in yourself, just know you're doing something right. You might not be profitable now, but generally don't give up, because I've lost everything. I've come from genuinely nothing. Like I've come from nothing, and look where I am. Exactly. I've revisited it, and I'm doing very good for myself. Like obviously you got to thank God, everything like that as well. Of course, with yourself, you don't give up on yourself. Keep yourself around good people. If you have a certain friendship group that are keeping you back, take a minute, look at yourself and say, am I going to be in the same position that I'm currently now? Or am I going to evolve into becoming a better person in your life? Because remember, you're the only person that can change your life. I can't change it. I can only give you my advice, my story. If you want to be that person you've dreamt about your whole life, put the work in, get your head down, forget everything that you regretted in the past. Go for it. You only live once. You're going to regret it. Don't be one of them people when you look back in 10 years' time thinking, why did I not just go fully for it? The people that have become successful, they go straight for it. They don't even hesitate to do what they want to do. Why? Because they know if they put in that work and never give up, they will genuinely end up becoming a successful person, like hopefully one day you guys will be. That's why I just say, don't give up, and also don't overtrade, guys, as well. That's another big thing. Don't over risk. Be disciplined. Read a book. Like it doesn't have to be about trade. It could be about psychological book that in the long run like helps you become a better person. But then on top of that as well, I would like to add as well, on top of that, just read a couple pages of a book. If you read like 4 or 5 pages a day, you'll end up finishing that book in the space of a couple months.
It's just like building your account.
Exactly, same thing. Take your time.
You haven't got to get there in one shot.
I 100% agree. And then another thing as well, guys, don't always think you're going to become successful overnight. This is a process, yeah? Usain Bolt didn't become the fastest runner alive overnight. Yeah, Mo Farah didn't become the long-distance runner overnight. It takes time. Cristiano Ronaldo, he never become the best football player overnight. It takes.
What about Messi?
Yeah, you can't forget Messi.
Right, I'm going to stop you there because we're going to go through the whole Olympiad. Yeah.
But yeah, genuinely, guys, don't give up, because if you know you can become that person, or you can have that vision of becoming that, you can do it. I've done it. He's done it. Everyone that has done it will tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. Don't give up. Go through it. You only live once, guys. Genuinely.
Bounce back ability. So
yeah,
you just got to keep stay in the game. Keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
Just do that.
And you never know
that it's going to work.
You never know. You might be sitting in this seat.
There you go.
Next, guys. So yeah.
Thank you, Kareem.
No, you're welcome.
So I hope you enjoyed that. There's absolute tons of diamond gems in there. It's been illuminating. I've enjoyed the chat. It's a classic Planty overrun. Absolutely brilliant, because I didn't want to stop you. You're coming out with some absolute classics.
No,
wish you all the success. You're doing all the right processes, and he really is correct. Stick with it. It's all about learn as much as you can. Mistakes are there to benefit from. Another fantastic interview. Brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, sir.
Much.
Join us again on the Alpha Capital YouTube channel. Leave us some comments below, positive ones, please, and ask any questions, and we'll get back to you. Cheers.